And so the video begins. Marker 11. Couple things going on here behind me. We begin on 192 in Kissimmee, Florida. There's much ahead. Among the Marker 11, this Disney Gifts clearance store, I can specifically remember the memory of myself and my family walking inside this store, and it has not changed in almost 20 something years. I do not remember the alligator on this side of it though. He's kind of fading away. You can just barely make out his teeth right there. And then also among Marker 11, right there is where I started the video. Check this out. Wait for it. Abandoned Arby's restaurant, 5015 Highway 192, Erlo Bronson. That's the correct address. Oh man, Arby's sounds good, but you know what sounds better? You know what sounds really good? And the whole reason I'm beginning here at Marker 11, well, maybe you can make it out right here. That sounds better. Wait for it, the grassy knoll before the Olive Garden. I love the Olive Garden, and this specific Olive Garden right here, the very first Olive Garden I ever ate at in Florida. I remember the exact date I ate at this Olive Garden too. It was December 24th, 1998. And how do I remember that? Well, that's because it was my brother's birthday. We were down here on Christmas break, winter break, and he wanted to eat at the Olive Garden. Olive Garden, also my dad's very favorite restaurant. He loved it. We, as a family, we spent a lot of time at Olive Garden, because when you're here, oh wait, I'll save that line. Hold on. I'll save that line for something better. Howdy, I'm Tampa J. Thanks for clicking on the video. I just want you to know, when you're here, your family. You know how to get it in there. Ha! All right, so Olive Garden, love the restaurant. I just found this out, like last night. The very first Olive Garden ever in the existence of the world was right here in Florida. Not this one, not in Kissimmee, but very close. Guess where it's at? Orlando, International Drive. The very first Olive Garden used to sit on International Drive. Oh wait, I said used to. It still does! Are you kidding me? So that's why I'm firing up the camera. I'm also a big fan of Olive Garden. Like I said, I've got a history with it, specifically with this one. I'm gonna tell you a story about that evening we were here on my brother's birthday. It's a very, not a funny story, but kind of funny. But yeah, the very first Olive Garden is over on International Drive, and I'm gonna go see it today. Also, we're just gonna dive deep into a little bit of the history of the Olive Garden, where it came from, how it began. I've got 4 stops planned today, including this one. Also, I'm gonna show you what I see. We might see some cool stuff. 192, love Kissimmee. My family used to stay on 192 every time we came here on vacation. This was the place. My beautiful fiance, Chris the girl, grew up in this area. Little did I know we were vacationing down here at the same time she was growing up here all these years later. Fate, babe, fate, babe. Yeah, so welcome back to the channel. Welcome if it's your first time. I am Tampa J, and if you like food, if you like Italian, I hope you like Italian, as Beetlejuice once said, you're in the right place. I'm gonna eat at Olive Garden today. No, I don't know which one I'm gonna eat at, but we might make it, well, I'll just say that. You'll see it when you get there. That's right, that's part of the fun, right? Much ahead. And this Olive Garden right here, it's been renovated, but the layout, the store, this is one of the oldest Olive Gardens in existence, not too far from the Birthplace. I can tell by the shape. It's got that traditional shape and this hut shape. Remember this kind of awning up here? This is going to come into play later. Just kind of remember this shape. I remember coming here on Christmas Eve. I think that day we were either at Hollywood Studios or Universal Studios. I cannot remember, but I remember it being my brother's birthday, and we were staying somewhere near here, maybe down there at the hotel, maybe across the street. Actually, we may have been at the Red Roof Inn, which is right over there, now the Red Lion Inn. I remember coming here And the cool thing about Olive Garden on your birthday back in Indiana was they come out and sing, you know, they sing for your birthday. And of course we did that for my brother, and normally they would, you know, sing and bring you a cake. However, when my parents asked and told them that it was my brother's birthday, and they asked if they could sing happy birthday for him, all the, you know how all the servers come out and clap. This specific Olive Garden back in 1998, the manager actually came by, and he was kind of embarrassed. I could tell as a kid. I was 11 years old, but he turned it down. They could not sing happy birthday to anyone because his excuse was someone had sued this specific Olive Garden. Don't know the backstory. Maybe it was an excuse. It was the 90s. I don't know, but my brother did not get Olive Garden birthday greetings at this Olive Garden back in 1998 on December 24th. So this Olive Garden did not sing for my brother on his birthday, and I always thought that may have traumatized him as a kid. Sorry, Orlando J. He lives right here in Orlando, by the way. Little did we know, all these years later, we would both be living in the Central Florida area. Crazy, we were on vacation. So, we're leaving this Olive Garden. We're not gonna eat at this one today. We're gonna eat at another one. The next stop, Olive Garden, actually began by General Mills, the cereal company. A company that makes cereal actually was located, I think, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, but they opened the first store here. And then they would become, sometime in the 90s, they became Darden, the Darden company. It's a billion-dollar company. They don't just own Olive Garden, they own, I think, Eddie V's. That one time they owned Red Lobster. They own Bahama Breeze, they still own that. A multi-billion-dollar company. This is a corporate chain. It is one of my favorites though, of that kind. I love the breadsticks, the fettuccine Alfredo. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be hard not to get today. Spaghetti, when I was younger, spaghetti was my favorite food. We just loved Italian. And my dad, he was a very, I don't wanna say a picky eater, but he didn't really eat too much outside of what he grew up with. I come from Indiana, we're very meat and potatoes people. This was something he didn't want to try until my mom said, hey, we should go here, we should go to the Olive Garden. This was sometime before I was born. And my mom made him try it, and that became my dad's favorite restaurant. Actually, before my dad passed away, the day of, they were at Olive Garden. It was his last meal. And miss you, Dad. So I want to dedicate this video to my dad, because he loved the Olive Garden. Welcome to the corporate home of Olive Garden, Darden, 1000 Darden Center Drive. Now this is a massive complex. Darden Industries started off as General Mills, the cereal company. I had no idea that their corporate office was in Orlando, just like I didn't know that the first ever Olive Garden is right here in Orlando. The Darden Drive, it's basically a circle that goes all the way around this building. There's flat parking lots. There's also a giant parking garage over there. Thought we'd come over here and talk more about the company itself. Darden, founded by Bill Darden, originally General Mills, the cereal company. They own, here I got it on my phone, Darden.com, Longhorn Steakhouse, Ruth Chris, Yard House, Cheddar's, the Capitol Grill, Seasons 52, Eddie V's, and Bahama Breeze. And formerly, Bill Darden was the creator of Red Lobster. They used to own Red Lobster, but I guess they sold it. And right here among John Young Parkway, check this out, it's right there. Fun fact, the intersection over here, this underpass, that's a filming location to the movie Monster. I was under that overpass about a year ago filming those filming locations. Charlize Theron was right over there. Just wanted to point that out. Had no idea when I was filming that the corporate home of Olive Garden was right here. I wonder if you work there, your family as well. I'm sure they use that motto everywhere. They got to, right? So the first Olive Garden opened here in Orlando on International Drive in 1982. I was also reading between 1982 and 1989, Olive Garden blew up. I was born in '87, so I didn't really come to Olive Garden until I was a toddler in the early 90s, but by that time my parents had already eaten at a couple of them, and they had made it all the way up to Indiana. Actually, by 1989, 145 Olive Gardens had opened, and now they're in a lot of different countries. This is a billion-dollar company, Darden Brands. I mean, I love the restaurants. I've never been to Eddie V's, but I have been to Bahama Breeze. That was one of my favorite spots. My friends used to hang out at the Bahama Breeze on the Courtney Campbell Causeway out in Tampa a lot. Eddie V's, hoping to check that out. I thought that was Eddie Van Halen's restaurant. I think it is. I didn't realize it was part of Darden. A lot of restaurants come out of Florida. It's crazy. The Olive Garden, it's at the top of, as far as like corporate and Italian food, it's my favorite. Dan Kiernan, president of Olive Garden. Also, Vice President Brian Clements, Vice President of Operations, and then Jamie Bunker, Senior Vice President, and Terrence Tukes, Executive Chef. And the list goes on, and I believe most of them are located, their offices right here. That's so cool. It kind of reminds me of Cyberdyne from Terminator 2, huh? 8984 International Drive, right across the street. Hey, Bahama Breeze, Darden Restaurant. So welcome to the longest, continuing, oldest Olive Garden. Wait for it. Helicopter tours right next door. This is not the first Olive Garden store, but the first Olive Garden store is on International Drive. The building still exists. We are going there, just wait for it. But this is the oldest continuation of the first Olive Garden, AKA it moved here to the south side of the International Drive. Just over here, the convention center where we always go to Spooky Empire. MegaCon down that way, the Orlando Eye. There's Howl at the Moon. We're gonna walk here and get closer. I'm gonna go down to the original location, the original Olive Garden. But first I wanna walk up here, talk a little bit more, and then I will come back. I think I'm gonna eat at this one today, it being the oldest Olive Garden. Not the oldest building, but the oldest of the founding of an Olive Garden. It just moved down the street. And the last time I had Olive Garden was back in December with my mom and Chris the girl. When my mom was in town, one night we went out to the local Olive Garden over in the Tampa Bay area. The time before that, by myself in New York City, the Olive Garden in Times Square. And it was fantastic. And my logic behind that was everything in Times Square is expensive. Olive Garden, because it's a corporate chain and you know it's Times Square, it's gonna be a little more pricier, but I knew the food was gonna be good and I knew it wasn't gonna be busy. So before I flew out back to Tampa, I think I was filming maybe the Ghostbusters videos at that time. It was a couple years back. I was like, hey, I'll just hit the Olive Garden. It was awesome. It was right there in Times Square. I passed it not too long ago. I was there about a month ago. But I just love this restaurant. I just did a really quick Wikipedia search here. Olive Garden, founded by General Mills, now Darden. The original members who started the actual Olive Garden are listed right here. Blaine Sweat, Mark Given, Gino DeSantis, and Dave Monachia. Hope I didn't butcher those. There's the corporate address. Look at that. 5 miles away from here, by the way. Also serve these other countries. So Olive Garden, global. Looks like they're even out in the Philippines and Saudi Arabia, Ecuador. I've been to Ecuador. I remember them being in Ecuador. I have never had a bad experience of Olive Garden. Maybe service-wise here or there, but the food, excellent. I mean, it's hard to mess up pasta. I mean, you can mess it up, but Olive Garden's pretty good. Really good. And I look forward to coming back and having some food here. 8984 International Drive. The very first Olive Garden was a little down the road. Actually, it was more towards the Epic McDonald's. Opened December 13th, 1982. In the Orlando Eye. Did you know they renamed it back to the Eye? It was called Orlando Icon for a little while, just recently. They renamed it. It's now the Orlando Eye again. Fun fact. All right, folks, just a couple weeks ago, I began a video over on that corner. Actually, I didn't begin it there, but I stopped there first before visiting Arcade Monsters, which is a couple doors down. Although it is no longer Olive Garden, the building of the world's first Olive Garden is still here. And no, it's not IHOP. That's been there a while. But IHOP used to sit next to this old building here. This old IHOP used to sit next to the world's first Olive Garden. 7653 International Drive. Today, Boteca de Manolo. It's a Brazilian restaurant. This building was Olive Garden, the very first one, December 13th, 1982. Now, it's a little busy here, bear with me. I have a photo with me, and I see evidence of the former Olive Garden. It wasn't a traditional Olive Garden as you know it. This was the very first one. It was more of a square shaped, looked a little like the one I showed you in the beginning of the video up at Kissimmee. Remember that one on 192? This facade right here was put here sometime in the early 2000s. All of this was built on, but the original building, you can see it right here. I'm gonna go across the street to put it into frame and show you the picture of the world's first Olive Garden right here in Orlando, Florida. Isn't that crazy? I had no idea. Arcade Monsters just up there to the right, Universal Studios. There's one of the hotels. Crazy. 7653 International Drive, the facade brand new. The sign, I believe that is the first sign of Olive Garden. It's still there. It's just been changed. Okay, I'm gonna put the picture into frame and then I'm gonna walk to the right to show you the evidence I found of this being the same building, and we're gonna walk around it. I wish I could eat Brazilian food today, but yeah, we're going back to the Olive Garden, baby. So check it out. Very unique shape to the very first Olive Garden. Not very traditional to the other Olive Gardens you've seen around America. Okay, you can really see it from this angle. The sign, different, but it was in that same spot. This picture from the 80s, there's like an 80s Mercedes pulling out of the driveway. You can see the roof and the slats of the restaurant the same here today, then and now. Check this out. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. That whole west side of the restaurant the same as you see it in the photo. The vents on the top, the peak of the roof there, the awnings. That's incredible. That has not changed. This is the original Olive Garden, the OG of the OG, as they say. Behind that point right there, you can make out the point of the roof, the picture back into frame. This is it. It's still here. That's incredible. I don't know how long ago this Olive Garden moved to the one we were just at. I'm gonna have to say probably sometime in the early 2000s. I went back on Google Maps and it's looked like this since 2008, this building, the OG Olive Garden building. So before 2008, I'm gonna say sometime in the early 2000s. If anyone remembers eating at this Olive Garden, breaking news, maybe you didn't know it, that was the first one. And also, please comment below. I love this part I love when you guys help me out. It's part of the fun. Please let me know the last time you ate at this Olive Garden. That'll give us like a time frame, a timeline of when this place closed down. There's a lot of stuff that's not on the internet yet until we put it there. And that's one reason why I love doing this. So I hope you like Olive Garden. To you fans out there, when you're here, you're family, of course. And when you're on International Drive, just know the building is still here. That's so cool. I think I've eaten here before. This Denny's with my family. Oh yeah, definitely. Also, well, I've definitely eaten at that McDonald's the first time I ever came here in 1993. That was the first McDonald's I ever ate at in Florida. Didn't mean to do that on purpose. I said that the last time I was down there a couple weeks ago. First Olive Garden, 192, first McDonald's, International Drive in Florida for me. All right, busy here. Woo! So here we are. I parked in the back. I'm gonna sweep along the front. This is so cool. Actually, if I come over here behind the Manolo sign, Yeah, you can see it even better. The OG. I'm gonna walk in there. I'm just gonna take a picture real quick. All right, so I walked in there, it wasn't busy, so I took a picture. I'll show you in a second. I just realized, I think this used to be the Tilted Kilt and the Golden Pond. This is an old sign that sits before the driveway. So at one point, this used to be the Tilted Kilt, and I think those came around in about the mid-2000s, so maybe that's what it became after the Olive Garden moved down the street. Okay, yeah, I'll show you the picture. This is cool, man. This is it. So this is right inside the front door. As you can see, looks nothing like an Olive Garden. It has definitely been gutted, remodeled, but I was just in the OG building. I'm saying OG because that's a cool acronym. It's relevant. OG Olive Garden. Oh, Orlando Garden. So only the very front of this building, exteriorly, the exterior has been remodeled. This is Olive Garden. It's got that shape, that Olive Garden shape, that square shape. I can assume that you walked right in the middle as you see in the photo. You go to the left or to the right. Traditional layout. And it looks like food is coming in, a little shipment. Here is the backside of the OG Olive Garden. Just gonna walk over here for a second. Yeah, you can definitely see the age here. 1982. Like a loading dock area. Hey, that's funny. Taco Bell. Who remembers my last fast food video? Right next door. 7653 International Drive. You can definitely see the age. Oh, wow. Okay, so if you walk over this way, there's some of the original brick. I wouldn't call that original, but this may have been additioned over here. Oh yeah, that's definitely part of the building. There's some of the original brick of the Olive Garden. That's incredible. So cool. Okay, now I'm hungry. I can smell the vents of the kitchen right now. I'm ready for those breadsticks. I just had a funny thought as I'm leaving here. The world's most popular Italian restaurant, most visited, highest grossing, did not begin in Italy. It began right here in Orlando, Florida. Think about that. Think about that. Bottega de Manolo now. Oh, okay. That sign says established in 2003. I think they may have moved here. Okay. I think it was Tilted Kilt before. All right, heading to Olive Garden. Ronald, you're creeping me out, man. He's just so freaking scary. Talk about a creature to feature. And we're back. It's chow time. Oh man, I'm so excited for this moment. It's been a while, December, since I last had Olive Garden, as I was saying, with Chris the girl and my mom. My dad's favorite restaurant. I have been eating really bad the last couple weeks. Everything bad you've seen me eat has been on camera though. Like, I have bananas for lunch. I love fettuccine Alfredo. It was my dad's absolute favorite. And if I come here and I don't get it, I feel like I wouldn't be completed. So even though it's like the worst thing for you, I'm getting fettuccine Alfredo. That's what I'm trying to say. So again, this is not the original, but it is of the original. It moved here. So technically, this is still the first store. Amazing. It's not the oldest store now. I'm not so sure what the second Olive Garden was or where it was. It very well could have been the one in Kissimmee. I don't know. But comment below if you know where the oldest Olive Garden is that still is an Olive Garden today. I bet it's around here. All right, buongiorno. Here we go. Are you ready? Oh man, I'm about to be family. So I could have sat at the bar, which is really nice. Very modern looking Olive Garden, but I decided to wait for a table, about 10 to 15 minutes. And a short wait, and check it out. Got a booth all to myself. Let's eat our two favorite words. Tour of Italy, chicken Alfredo, chicken and shrimp carbonara right on the menu here. I know what I'm getting though, although we can still take a look at the menu. Hasn't really changed much. Always kind of looks the same. I love that they do the create your own pasta. I used to do that a lot with my parents. Also, they have weekday lunch specials. Amazing Alfredos. I'm just gonna go with the regular fettuccine Alfredo. I like chicken, but ever since I was a kid, I've always gotten the same thing. I just get the regular fettuccine Alfredo. It looks like the take-home entrees are back. Purchase any entree, then take home one of these classics for just $6. Now, if I didn't have a far drive, I would do that, because look at what one of the options is. Fettuccine Alfredo. I used to do this all the time. I would get it, take it home, and eat it for lunch the next day. All ordered up. Very simple. Iced tea, fettuccine Alfredo, salad, and breadsticks. Now, I will say, the salad and breadsticks at Olive Garden, sometimes, thanks man, appreciate that, got my drink. The salad and breadsticks sometimes are superior to me than the actual pastas. What is it about their salad and breadsticks that is so freaking good? Look at the kid eating the gelato. He's really liking that ice cream, huh? Huh? Okay, so check this out. Alyssy, you see the salt and pepper shaker? I've noticed that every Olive Garden I've been to, Alyssy Bakery provides the salt and pepper shaker. Alyssy Bakery of Tampa, Florida. This is an old school mom and pop bakery from Tampa, Florida, and it looks like they have the contract to supply the salt. I've actually been to this bakery before, alyssyfoods.com, Tampa, Florida. Isn't that cool? I didn't put it together that, you know, Olive Garden was from Florida all these years. Now it makes more sense why a local Florida bakery would have a contract like that. I've always gotten iced tea at Olive Garden since I was a kid. I can remember specifically asking for the sweet and low packets. I don't normally do this, but it's a nostalgic thing. Yeah, this is not the best stuff for you. I love how they've never changed the salad bowl or the tongs. Salad and 2 little breadsticks. Now, I used to order the Alfredo sauce. My dad loved to order the Alfredo sauce in addition to the breadsticks as like a dipping sauce, which you can still do that here. I'm gonna get enough Alfredo today, but we used to always do that. Toss this salad. I think my favorite part of this salad is the dressing, and then the actual black olives and the Roma tomatoes. There's no like art form here. I'm literally just picking this up and dropping it. I'm dropping it on my plate now. Check this out. Got it. It's the claw. So classic. There were so many Friday nights we would drive all the way over to Indianapolis to eat Olive Garden. And then moving to Florida, vacationing as you saw, we would visit Olive Garden as well. The last Olive Garden I frequented the most was the one on Highway 19 in Palm Harbor, just north of the Tampa Bay area, just north of Clearwater. I actually was there a few years back for my grandmother's birthday with my parents. Grandma and grandpa, mom and dad, and myself celebrating a birthday. Hey, we did that a lot. Yeah. That's so good. I love that dressing. You can buy this in the store now. I've done that a few times, but it's never as good as it is here for some reason. Isn't it funny how it's always like that? Now crying baby. Maybe they didn't get enough breadsticks. I was about to say 2 breadsticks for me. That's perfect. That is so perfect. Ooh, it's hot and buttery and garlicky. Now, you know I love fazoli's. Now that's fast food. That's fast food Italian. These are in 2 different categories, so don't make me choose. But I love them both. Ooh, this is so hot. Oh, delicious. Oh, wow. I can see the Orlando Eye out the window. There it is, right there in the shadows. As I'm eating my breadsticks. The Orlando Eye. I almost forgot about the pepperoncinis. These were also my favorite. I love spicy food since I was a kid, and I would often ask for extra Pepperoncinis. And look at this. The fettuccine Alfredo has arrived. Now, it used to come in like a plate with the olives around it. Remember that decorative plate? It had like the little olive leaves and the black olives. Now it comes in like a little, ooh, that's hot. Should be a little bowl. Don't mind this though. Pasta in a bowl is much easier to eat than a plate. I made a little dent in my salad. Got about halfway through it there. Got a little more of that. I'll finish that up. Almost done with that breadstick. I'm gonna get right into the fettuccine. In the words of Mouth from the Goonies, a fettuccine in 1981. Well, actually, this fettuccine began in 1982. All right, it always comes with a spoon. I watched a lot of movies when I was a kid. I never really figured out how to do this. The spoon. It's supposed to kind of go like that. I have no idea. I just act like I know what I'm doing. Here we go. It's kind of like when I pick up the camera. I'm holding this bowl and it's super hot. All right, first bite. You guys ready? It smells so good. Here you go. No matter how many years go by, no matter what Olive Garden I go to, it always tastes the same. I'm sure that's on purpose. It's really good. Really scrumptious. Second bite. I'm sure these people are like, why is he filming himself at the Olive Garden? The amount of saturated cholesterol. Oh my golly. It tastes great. I was kind of hoping this would happen. Yeah, kill two birds with one stone right there. That's how you do it. And it looks like my total for this meal, not too bad. $16.17. Service was great, so I'm gonna leave a great tip. There we go. I did pretty good. I almost ate all of my salad, definitely ate all of the fettuccine Alfredo. The server came and already took my empty plate before I could film it. But I ate it all. And almost finished my tea. I'm gonna finish that actually. And I'm full. The Olive Garden. The original location down the street. That was a great meal. Not too full actually. I didn't overdo it. That was a small portion of fettuccine Alfredos, and I'm not complaining. That was perfect. And the layout of this Olive Garden, you can see Interstate 4 right there. It sits right on I-4, International I-4. Same layout as the Citrus Park Olive Garden, which was the Olive Garden my dad last ate at. It was his last meal. That was it. He sent me a photo, and that was the last photo he ever sent me. He was at the Olive Garden. And later that night he passed away. And man, I wish I could have joined him that day, but I would have if I hadn't been working. But I joined him many a times in that specific Olive Garden. Never this one, but so many. That was his favorite. That's why I wanted to come out here today and show you the original OG store. Part of the fun was just seeing that, but good memories. When you're here, your family. And when I think about Olive Garden, I think about my family. Uh-oh, sirens. I think that's gonna do it. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you're a fan of Olive Garden, give it a super thumbs up. I don't think you can do that, but you can if it's your first time here. You can subscribe below if you haven't done so already. I really appreciate that. Thanks for always joining me, guys. I love you. You're family. When you're here, you're family. I can't say that enough. It was really good. The only thing I'm missing is those Andes chocolate mints that they give you. I didn't get those. I think because I paid on the kiosk and I kind of bolted, I didn't get the mints. I'm sure if I went in there and asked for it, I could get them, but no Olive Garden trip is complete without those mints, truly, even though I had a good time. I'll get those next time. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. Know you're awesome, know you're loved, and no matter who you are, what you're going through, just know there's always much ahead. For you, my friend, for you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. It's not just a statement, it's a way of life. See you tomorrow. Much ahead. Bye-bye, Orlando. I'll see you soon. See you real soon. And right next to Olive Garden, just noticed, there's a Dave & Buster's. Hey, that's fun. We have one of those in Tampa. International Drive, full of fun, as you know. A lot of roadside attractions. TGI Fridays. Again, Bahama Breeze. Howl at the Moon. All right, goodbye everyone. Much ahead. Thank you, Olive Garden. I'll be back. Oh yes, I'll be back.